Travis Wayne Goodsell, it just occurred to me, and I'm going to place this at the front of the video. If I win, you guys will probably find out before me, unless I see it as I'm checking the internet, YouTube, breaking news. If the prophets are witnessed at the airports, fleeing the country, they could be going back out to minister. But pay attention to the airports and any news about prophets heading off on the airplanes. That would be a big tip-off that I won, is if they're fleeing the country. Because as I mentioned yesterday, when I found out, or back on the 15th, is that, or I guess, 15th, is that my case is civil, and so the leaders of the church don't go to prison for this. I'm supposed to put a money value for damages, and that pissed me off because there is no money value that can be attached to this that would easily compensate me for the damages they've done to my life. Like I've told you yesterday, I've sacrificed everything for the church and for the God that I believe that the church had. And Joseph Smith came through for me, but not the current church. And so the judge, as she's already following the book, the letter of the law, so far, with what she did yesterday. And so if she's going to continue that pattern, she then will acknowledge that the lawyers were in default, I win the case, I get the judgment, and then she is required by law to order the arrest and prosecution of the defendants. And it's not just the prophets, it's the 70 presiding bishopric. And so pay attention, because if I win and you find out because the church leaders are fleeing the country, that's why they're fleeing the country. That's why the lawyers would have told them on Monday, after I refiled with this new judge, those final orders, that final motion, that they need to plan to prepare to evacuate. And so Herbert complies, getting the airport director fired for a mysterious, and we still don't have confirmation of what it was that he didn't go to court. Nothing's been reported about it. He's just been disappeared. And so a new airport director is temporarily taking over if they haven't appointed a new one, but no news on that either. And so the airlines are open for the church to flee. And so pay close attention, because if I win, I'm supposed to win according to the letter of the law, and she's following the letter of the law to the book, by the book. So when I win, pay close attention, because she's supposed to be giving orders. They won't be on my docket, I don't think. It doesn't seem like it from the law. She's supposed to do a bench warrant for their arrest for a completely separate criminal prosecution based on my civil case. And so all of the claims in my civil case will be the claims carried over into a criminal case. Treason, war crimes, RICO, bigamy. These are capital crimes for capital punishment, which is death sentence. That's why the church is preparing to flee. So pay attention. All hell's breaking loose. Heaven's on fire. Whatever song fits the topic. You guys aren't paying attention to my description and stuff. I use music to symbolize things sometimes, or clips from movies. Travis Wayne Goodsell, it's 6 o'clock, so I still have to wait to find out if the new judge is going to side for me or the church. If she's following the book as she's indicated so far, she's siding with me, because the church failed to reply within the time frame allotted to them. The judge, as I found out this morning from yesterday, has dismissed the motion to serve, which means she's accepted my waiver of summons and my reply that included the notification that they were late by 24 days. There's also an indication that she now is aware, because the second motion to serve that she also dismissed involved notification of why the judges should be dismissed in the case. But that's why it somewhat concerns me that she didn't allow for Waddups to recuse himself. Actually, she did, yeah. She called that one as moot, because of the new judge taking over. It was supposed to be Waddups who was supposed to decide whether he was to be recused. And so that one may be a trick thing, indicating that she does not accept my argument for the default entry. But I did put in the recusal the same reasons why the lawyers for the church should be disbarred. I put that in there. That was my secret bombshell that I had been telling you about early on, as I waited for the church to respond or to get the service order granted. And it's because as members of the church are required to give loyalty to the church over everything, everyone, every other organization, and that includes the American government. And so to have government employees who are members of the church, there's a traitorous conflict of interest, as their loyalties lie with the church rather than the Constitution and the American people, and following the rules of the federal government. And so that was my justification for disbarment and for recusal of Clark Waddups. For Judge First, hers was the failure, and so the new judge has replaced her, and so it's now moot. So I'll be checking around 9 o'clock, and then every hour or so thereafter doing recordings as I do it, but not showing you the recordings until something happens. I want you to get my reaction it happen as I find out. If I win, you're going to witness me crying and screaming for joy and all that stuff. As I was running, I was already envisioning winning and the reaction I would have, and it made it tough to run. But be ready, because I'm going to be ready. If she does it before noon, I'll know about it, and I'll be able to... I can't believe I have to do this, but maybe she'll email it to me rather than mail it to me. If it's an email, I'll check the email right away first, and then find out if it. I hope I don't have to pay, because Pace Monitor makes you pay to download stuff. So, all right. So the news, other news. But I hope you understand how historical this order will be. I hope you understand the time frame, the historical background that's going on right now. I mean, this is huge, guys. It's not hyperbole. You guys are going to be witnessing history, just like the coronavirus is history. And you should be pursuing an accurate knowledge of what's going on with coronavirus, just as you should be getting an accurate understanding of what's going on in my lawsuit. If you're just saying, oh, I refuse to accept this, the church is true, Travis. Oh, dear God. So, big stuff coming. The surge in southwest Utah, apparently there was only 11 cases, as I did a follow-up video of it. They're already predicting it because of the 11 cases already, because that's how it works. It starts off small and continues to grow. And so that's why they're announcing a potential surge, is because 11 cases were reported yesterday. Their justice files calls for reform in Utah jails. And they pointed out that per capita, the most number of prisoners die in Utah jails than anywhere else in the nation. That's horrifying, because the news covers the other jails in other states. They don't cover Utah jails, but Utah is reporting the highest per capita of murders in the jails, the deaths. And so this is an unknown news break that ABC4 News Utah just pulled on us, doing justice files, so we don't even see it from the title. So that's disturbing. Cache Valley is trashed, literally. Apparently the dump had the high winds blow all the trash all over the place into another state. I don't know if it was, I'm sure it was Idaho that they were referring to, not Wyoming, but just so that you know, the way trash will be handled in my city of charity that I talked about in the other video that you have to watch at the end. That's why I put the information in the beginning. I started out with a different video, and then all of a sudden I went to the docket and That's why I got the snapshot of my first reaction. I missed the bigger expression. I couldn't get the timing right on pausing the video. So it's the still in the shock, but it's dying down. My plan for handling trash is a recycling and a burning, and so we're not going to have stuff that can't be burned because it'll put poison in the air. The products that we make will be recyclable and burnable, burn friendly. So I mean, we're using solar panels for solar energy, so it can be stored for millennia, as the sun isn't likely to go out and extinguish anytime soon. There is an indication from astronomers, though, that the Earth is speeding up, and when I took astronomy, they talked about the escape velocity. I actually learned that in physics first. Escape velocity is when you go so fast as you're rotating around an object that has a mass that's got you rotating around it, but your speed increasing to the point where you escape the grasp of the magnetism hold, and you head off away from it. The Earth is speeding up. It's going extremely fast, but yet we're on the planet, and so we don't feel it or recognize that we're actually going very fast. But the Earth is also speeding up, and so time in the future will have to be readjusted for the hours in the day, minutes in the day. But we've got some time. It's not anytime soon, but who knows? We keep messing up the planet, that might get sped up. So there was, and then child disease. If you've been hearing about the child disease around the world, and then in New York, well, it's here in Utah. So Nelson has also got the blood of our children on our hands. Where's Protect LDS Children for this? What's it going to take, Mormons? They're murdering your grandparents. They're murdering your pre-health condition loved ones. Pre-existing conditions, that's what it's called. And now they're going after the children. And I'm sure you've heard the study that came out yesterday saying, well, if we had shut down everything a week early, we would have saved 36,000 deaths, and thus if we had stopped even earlier, we could have controlled this. But Trump wouldn't let it. He let it in, he let it expand and grow, and the states did too. The states are also to blame for this. Though Trump was a big factor in preventing states from getting a hold on it. But Governor Herbert was in no hurry to obtain the necessary medical stuff until it became an issue. And Nelson was slow to shut down the church. You know, like I told you guys, this is a virus. This is a killer virus. You have to immediately shut it down. And I tried using medical knowledge to convince you. I tried using the religious knowledge from Scripture. I mean, the story of Moses. That's about a coronavirus. And Moses ordered the Israelites to stay inside. Do not leave your homes. And apparently that didn't work for you either. And now it's killing our children. Everybody is suffering from this. I mean, the Protect LDS Children really got on the nerves of Mormons. Is this going to get on your nerves finally? Are you going to finally stand up and say, Nelson, you were late, and you are costing the lives of our children. Step down. We understand Travis has a lawsuit, and he won the lawsuit. Give him the keys. That is my request for relief. That was half of it. It was an either or, but because I knew that they're not going to just hand over the keys, I requested everything. You know, there is no price that can be put on this. What was done to me, there is no price. And so, yes, I said everything. They cannot exist, because they'll always come after me. If I just take a $1 million settlement, they will still have trillions of dollars. They will still have the influence to come after me, murder me, and then money just goes away. I don't get to use it. It's not enough to do the charity, that's for sure. But, yeah, the church has to end. So, God. Alright. Oh, CW pisses me off. I got into In the Dark, and they didn't notify me that they've started the second season. They're on episode 6 this week. And so the first episode of the second season, gone forever. I never get to see that episode now. Coronavirus is shutting everything down. And so there won't be a DVD release because America will be decimated. Just like in The Postman with Kevin Costner. And that comes to mind a lot. It starts in Utah, the salt flats of Utah. As he's wandering the desolate wasteland of America, and becomes a postman by seeking shelter in a postal vehicle, and then decides, hey, I can go from these pocket cities to pocket cities, asking for food as I pretend to hand out the mail, pretending to be a postman. And then it becomes a career opportunity for him. So it's a post-apocalyptic movie set in Utah. And so, yeah, that's coming to mind. And yes, people have a viral infection also. As Mormons do not want to watch this because of an R rating for that reason. Not just for the language and the violence. So, alrighty. God, leave the children alone. I mean, I meant to talk about it in yesterday's video. You know, I had heard people reaching out to me talking about Nelson being involved in child sacrifices on an altar in the basement of the Salt Lake Temple. And they couldn't provide any source evidence other than hearsay. One person says they saw it and were going around telling everybody. Well, in Mormon culture, lots of Mormons pull that kind of stunt. They do it with Catholics. They do it with the Book of Mormon. Oh, I saw the 3 Nephites. Oh, I know this guy who said he saw them. Now, all sorts of crap like that. And so, because this person couldn't provide any factual data to back it up, I had to dismiss it. And then as I continue to do the study on church history and all this, I'm making the connection of the inverted pentagram and its role in the Scottish Rites Illuminati, of which Brigham Young and Heber C. Kimball were a part of, and the stunt that Nelson pulled in conference presenting an idol. The devil delights in idols and idol worship. That's the big distraction, is to get get mankind to be distracted with idols rather than pursuing the true knowledge from God, the source from God. And so it's forced obedience. Oh, you must come and worship the idol, and that's what Nelson pulled. And it's made very clear now that the church isn't just without authority, not having followed Joseph Smith's succession process in section 107, but they are literally the Church of Satan. As Albert Pike's letter to Giuseppe Mazzini ties it all together. Scottish Rites Illuminati, or the Illuminati to the Scottish Rites, and then this Illuminati Scottish Rites to Luciferian doctrine, as he calls it. That's their plan to destroy, is to replace Christianity and atheism with the doctrine of Lucifer. And the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is tied to the Scottish Rites Illuminati, and Brigham Young has placed the symbols of Lucifer all over the temples and the Seagull Gate. Nauvoo Temple, Salt Lake Temple, I think there's other temples that have it, I don't know offhand, but at least the Seagull Gate. And that's horrifying. As a Mormon who, born and raised, trusted the church, I just assumed that Joseph Smith, the founder, and we're the direct succession. I never knew anything. It never occurred to me that Mormons were in a succession crisis. They didn't know who to select. And there were many branch-offs. And the church didn't tell me that. They just said, Brigham Young was inspired, and he was a man like Moses, and led the Mormons as the pioneers across the valley. And they just deceive us from birth. And now I know why. Because Lucifer is the author of deception and lies and flattery and pacification and anger and hatred and murder, all those things that Mormons do. Because Mormons were brought up, taught in the Church of Lucifer. They have the fruits of Lucifer. And it's not the fruits of the Spirit, which is love, joy, peace, happiness, long-suffering, meekness, kindness, gentleness. Galatians 5:22. That's the previous stuff, but that's not the fruits of Lucifer, that's natural man. But it now makes sense why I've been hated since I moved to Utah. Why I've been attacked for demonstrating that Joseph Smith is a legitimate translator. I thought it was just because of Mark Hoffman pulling a prank on the prophets, punking them into thinking that his forged documents were legitimate, or the September 6th who discovered things in church history. I had no idea it's just their paranoia that they're going to be exposed, and that I had figured it out and was going to expose them. And I was innocent, naive. I didn't realize. But my church attacked me. The Mormons attacked me. Everybody attacked me. And so now we are with the lawsuit. So I don't want to go too long on this, but I mean, she's a blind woman, and so frustrating. Pisses me off. I mean, why can't they have an archive? It's on the internet. They can have an archive for all the episodes. And some of the others have certain shows, but not all of them. This is coronavirus, guys. Come on. You're moving us into streaming anyway. So frustrating. Alright. And so, yeah, you guys will never see season 1 if you haven't seen any of it. And you're like, I've never heard of this show. I bought the DVDs when it came out. Well, yeah. But, you can also see I'm almost finished converting the DVDs of Rizzoli and Isles. But I found out about this, so it pisses me off. Alright. So like I said, I'll notify you at 9 o'clock if it happens. I'll be doing videos, most likely many takes I'm expecting. If at noon nothing happens, I'll have to wait until the morning of tomorrow. So, my dreams never lie, I told you that. Exodus. So here we go. And the thing is that the coronavirus isn't over with yet. There seemed to be an indication that the coronavirus was over in Exodus. But if it was an actual coronavirus, it wouldn't have been over. And 8 days would not have been enough time. But, yeah. I mean, it wasn't a real story. It's a prophecy for our day.